Hello, and welcome to California Gun Law. I'm your host, Don Hammond, with an update on Assembly Bill 1127. This is the so-called Glock ban bill that passed the legislature last week and is headed to the governor's desk for signature. We'll dig into the details of what the bill really says, when it will take effect, and what this all means. I'm a licensed California attorney and a shooting instructor. I regularly help teach the 16-hour class that's required to get a concealed carry license in California. On this program, we provide education on California's complicated web of gun laws so that responsible gun owners like you can better understand how to lawfully exercise their rights. California has a complicated web of firearms laws and regulations, and there are lots of traps for the unwary. We want to help you do it right so you won't need our criminal defense legal services. Today, I'll discuss updates to the so-called Glock ban bill, Assembly Bill 1127. This bill passed the state Senate last week, and the amendments were approved by the Assembly. The next step is the signature from the governor. The big issue here is that the legislature is worried about Glock switches that can convert a semi-automatic handgun into a fully automatic gun. The bill bans new sales of semi-automatic, quote, machine gun convertible pistols, unquote, after July 1st, 2026. A machine gun convertible pistol is defined as a semi-automatic pistol with a cruciform trigger bar that can be readily converted by hand or with common household tools into a machine gun by the installation or attachment of a pistol converter as a replacement for the slide's backplate without any additional engineering, machining, or modification of the pistol's trigger mechanism. Sounds complicated, right? Well, the language is designed to ban the sales of very specific firearms. They've basically described how a Glock switch works, and they want to ban guns that can be easily converted to fire on a full auto. These include Glocks and some guns that people refer to as Glock clones. I'll just refer to them all as Glocks for the sake of simplicity. This ban does apply to the Gen 3 Glock handguns that are currently on the California roster. I think the legislature is going out of their way to create a solution without a problem. I've been around guns for a long time, and I've never actually seen a Glock switch, let alone someone using one to fire a pistol on full auto. While it sounds like it might be cool, I think that it wouldn't really be all that fun, and it would be very difficult to control the gun. It sounds like the kind of thing that I might try out on the range once, and then decide that I never want to fire it again. So many people think that the legislature's true motive here is to get rid of a very popular manufacturer of handguns and limit the public's choice of firearms. Of course, there are a lot of other firearms that California residents can buy that do not have cruciform trigger bars and work great. So what the legislature is actually doing is trying to encourage Glock to change the design of its handguns so that they can't be easily converted to fire on full auto. They even created an additional exemption to the California handgun roster requirements in case Glock decides to modify its trigger system so that a Glock switch wouldn't work. It'd be easy for them to modify that and then get the new guns onto the roster. The ban on new sales is expected to go into effect on July 1st, 2026, but there will be some exemptions to the ban. As usual, police and other law enforcement are exempt, so they can still buy these allegedly dangerous firearms. Of course, they're unlikely to modify them to fire full auto. And any prohibited machine gun convertible pistol that is delivered to the FFL before January 1st, 2026, can continue to be sold after July 1st, 2026. That's supposed to be a 6-month window to allow gun stores to sell through their current inventory. But they can continue to sell what they have even after July 1st, as long as they received it before January 1st. Another exemption is private party sales through an FFL. So hey, your Glock might be worth a lot more money on the private market once this new law takes effect. So no, you don't have to get rid of your Glock. And yes, you can still sell your Glock to someone else in California through an FFL. But if you want to buy a new one, You should probably get on that sooner rather than later, as the window is closing. There will be litigation, and there's a good chance the ban will eventually be overturned, but it's tough to predict whether there will be an injunction in the meantime. I'm not a Glock guy, and I'm trying to hold off on new purchases until we get rid of the 11% sin tax. I know, everybody wants an update on that. Not much action lately. But I'm considering adding one to my collection while I can. Assuming the governor signs this bill, litigation will certainly be upcoming to determine whether this is a constitutional restriction on firearm ownership. Glocks are widely considered to be the most popular handguns in the world, so they would certainly be considered to be in common use, which is one of the tests under the current Second Amendment jurisprudence. Does the fact that there are a lot of other pistol options on the market make it okay to regulate one particular manufacturer or firing mechanism? A court might rule that this is similar to the Ninth Circuit ruling in B&L Productions Inc. versus Newsom, which upheld a ban on gun sales at fairgrounds and on state property because there are plenty of other places to buy guns in the nearby vicinity. I think this is different, but the fate of this Glock ban may hinge on upcoming assault rifle case rulings, such as Miller versus Bonta, which is fully briefed and argued and currently awaiting a decision from the Ninth Circuit. That case was on hold, awaiting a decision in the Duncan v. Bonta case, which is the ammo check background case that now has a pending petition for writ of certiorari in the United States Supreme Court. What do you think? Are you planning to buy a Glock soon to beat the ban? Let us know in the comments, and head over to cagun.law for legal updates and to pick up some cool merch to support the cause. I'm Don Hammond at California Gun Law, and we'll catch you all next time. Stay informed, stay legal, stay safe.